So we're going to be working on the E90 today, doing some upgrades because the car doesn't already have enough upgrades, but you know how it goes. With the N54, it just never stops. Before showing you the upgrades, I wanted to quickly show you guys what my setup looks like. I got a DR700 single turbo kit, a stock valve cover with the stock beauty cover, a V1 dock race intake manifold, and a VRSF oil catch can that's pretty much dangling for its life. Our goal here today is to swap out the stock valve cover for an aftermarket one, delete the stock PCV system in favor for an external PCV setup with dual catch cans. And for this particular upgrade, I decided not to cheap out. As you guys can see, this is a full-blown carbon fiber valve cover from VTT. I got their entire kit that you can get to go for an external PCV system. So we got the dual catch cans for the high and low side. Comes with a vent filter there, the brackets, the hoses, all the connectors that you need. Got some titanium hardware for the valve cover itself and a new gasket. And before we officially start the video, I figured I'll address one thing that's probably gonna come up in the comment section, as it always does when there's a VTT product featured in anybody's video or anybody's Facebook post. I get it, it's a hot topic in forums with a lot of polarizing opinions, either positive or a lot being negative. I can tell you this, I recently became a vendor for their products, and we've been selling a lot of their products and installing a lot of their valve covers here at the shop. And we haven't had any reliability issues with any of their products. So I could only speak from my experience. And I figured I'll do the upgrade on the valve cover, do their catch system, the catch can system. And then obviously like a few weeks, months down the line, I'll update you guys and see how everything has held up. We've had nothing but good experiences from them lately. I don't want to take everybody's bad opinions that I see on forums. I just kind of want to go based on my own opinion. And then obviously I will communicate that feedback to you guys, whether it's on another YouTube video or Instagram stories, Instagram posts. Even if you guys ask me on DMs, I'll be glad to update you guys. I promise this is not a biased opinion, but this has to be one of the best looking aftermarket valve covers for the N54. I honestly haven't seen anything that's better than this. I know it's something that VTT recently released, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh God, I have to have it. Then I saw the price and I thought about it twice because it's pretty expensive. And I figured, hey, you know what? I always do the best mods for the car, so why not? And I'll let you guys know if it's worth it or not. I do got to thank my viewer, Matt. He was actually the first one to acquire one of these. He already has a valve cover for his N54 from VTT. Decided not to install this one. I made a deal with him. He sent this out to me for me to try out. So huge thanks to Matt. For those trying to stay on a budget, here's an alternative valve cover we installed on a customer's car. It's a VTT cast aluminum valve cover. This one is finished in wrinkle black, which looks very nice alongside the top bottom single turbo kit. You can also get these in red and in blue depending on the specific theme that your car has. This car is also rocking the B58 coil conversion, which is something we will be installing on my E90 as well. Another reason I decided to kind of rush to get this valve cover now is because my N54 has been smoking from the exhaust. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I just think that the OEM valve cover just took a crap. This is like the third one. OEM valve covers are nice, I guess, when you make 400, 500, 600 horsepower, maybe. My car makes over 700 horsepower and 31 pounds of boost, and it just keeps failing. And because of that, I get a little bit of smoke coming out of the exhaust. So I figured I'll try the valve cover upgrade now and see if that resolves the issue. And plus, it'll clean up the engine bay and make it look very nice. Quality-wise, looks pretty good. I believe that this valve cover came from Tony's personal car, but he never ran the car, so it's pretty much brand new, but it looks pretty good. Clear coat finish, the shine to it looks really good. Here's the inside of it. I originally thought it might have been like just a carbon fiber overlay. I think it's more than just that. But I'm very skeptical because a carbon fiber valve cover, can it really withstand the heat and all that boost? I guess we're about to find out because there's no other video on YouTube showcasing this actually installed with somebody running the car with this. So it'll be very interesting to see how good it is. It's very, very light. Once we remove the old OEM valve cover, we'll do like we'll weigh both of them and see what the difference is as far as weight savings goes. Okay, so it's time to take things apart, get the old valve cover uninstalled. Relatively simple for my setup. I'll take the coil system off. I got the charge pipe here for the DR700. So I'll take this beauty cover off, which it's not held on by anything. Got the coils, the spark plugs, the fuel lines, the fuel rail. Should be pretty simple. Now it was time to block off the head ports. You get everything you need in the kit. Hardware and the tool you need to tap into the ports. We unbolted the manifold to get access to the intake valves. We stuffed a microfiber rag there to make sure shavings didn't make it inside. We used some silicone grease to tap into the ports in a slow and controlled way. We sprayed brake cleaner into the port to clean it out and then removed the rag that collected all the shavings. I think it's time to go ahead and install the valve cover off camera. We installed the gasket, which was such a pain. Luckily for you guys, if you purchase one, they normally come pre-installed anyways. So yeah, let's get to it. I made sure to clean the surface where the carbon fiber would sit, and now it was time to install it. Normally valve covers are pretty straightforward to install. I mean, we have installed many of them here at the shop, but something was up with this particular unit. The fitment was questionable. We had a hard time lining up all the holes no matter how we positioned it. We even took the valve cover off to make sure that the gasket was properly installed, but still, it was weirdly challenging. The inside of the valve cover was rubbing up against the valve trays on the right hand side. I mean, the cover was made out of carbon. My question was, did it warp at one point? We legit spent like 2 hours to try to make it work, and it just wouldn't sit flush without having to do some sort of modification to either the valve trays or the inside of the cover itself. Something I really didn't feel comfortable doing. So we do have a bit of change of plans. We decided not to go with the Vargas carbon valve cover, put the OEM one back on. The carbon one was just giving us too much difficulty. I don't think it's ready for the market. Either that, we had a pre-production unit that wasn't ready to be installed. So we sent that back to Vargas. We still have the head ports blocked off. So we're still gonna utilize the catch can system, and we're probably still gonna do the B58 coil conversion. And we got this beautiful looking piece, intake manifold from Doc Race, version 2. I previously had the version 1 I gave to Ali so he can rock on the E91. So this one is finished in orange, which is the same color that we have on the M Performance calipers. I'll go ahead and install the fuel rail, the injectors, and then we'll get it all installed onto the engine. I completely forgot to get the fuel rail painted in orange, but I think it's not gonna look bad in black. All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and plug these in first. They just snap right into place. All right, so we got the fuel line, hand tight, making sure we leave enough room for the whole oil pressure sensor, which is right here. There you go. Tight fitment, looks good. As you guys can see, we got the intake manifold fully installed, fitted, got everything attached to the throttle body, the charge pipe. One note I did want to make is we originally didn't install the little silver part right here, the spacers for the injectors, which is why the injectors were touching the OEM fuel rail. So, you know, my dumb self did not realize that it came in a package. So we went ahead and installed it. Everything's good to go. Off camera, we turned out the car to make sure that it wasn't leaking any fuel. Now we have this pretty upgrade that's going on. Muscle Man thermostat. Received it recently, so it's a last minute install, and I'm glad I got it because it's gonna replace the OEM one. It looks very crusty and not as appealing. This one is a billet piece. Not only does it look a lot better, and it's gonna make the engine bay look very clean, but it's supposed to improve engine oil temperatures as well. I've heard really good things about this, and I know a lot of people are buying it. It's a pretty expensive piece for how small it is, but apparently it's very effective. I mean, you pair that up with the coolant upgrades that I have, like the CSF radiator, you know, for a 700 horsepower car. If you can cool down the engine oil just a little bit more, it makes all the difference in the world. Oh God. All right, it's installed and it looks so much better. Definitely gonna get some upgraded lines later on, like the braided ones that look a lot prettier. A funny fact about this is that I purchased it from somebody on Marketplace, and this is actually for the F30 N55 and not for the N54. I think the part that changes is this right here, but we made it work because we just used a nut on the other side to tighten it up versus the N55 setup is a little bit different, but it ended up working. There's no leaks or anything like that. Nice and tight. So intake manifolds done, all connected. Not to deal with this stuff right here, so we're gonna convert from the N54 coils, the Delphi ones that I have, the B58 ones. Main advantage, apparently the power output is much better. So these are gonna be a lot more reliable and consistent when it comes to tuning your car. These are used, by the way, we're just using it for demonstration purposes today. I ordered new ones. We got the VTT hold down bracket, so that way they're not just kind of floating up top above the valve cover. So that's gonna bolt on right there, hold the brackets in place. Then we have these, so we're gonna have 6 of these each. This is for the harness, plugs into the OEM side, so you can connect to the B58 ones. So it converts the N54 harness side over to the B58 coil. And then these OEM sleeves or whatever need to come off, and we need to replace them with these that VTT includes. They're slightly longer, so they're gonna fit good. So that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple process. I guess the only pain is right here, all the spaghetti that we have to deal with. Super huge pain in the butt because of how tight everything is. But I'll finish that off camera and then we'll continue. So we pretty much have all the wires taped up. The reason we did that is primarily so it camouflages in with the setup and it looks clean when we install everything. I'll use that in the adapter to the OEM coil plug connectors, and then we're pretty much just squeezing them in between the gaps here because they're gonna all sit underneath the coil bracket. So as you guys can see, the connectors go through the circle cutout and then the coils are gonna go through the rectangular cutout. So we just got to pull off the OEM boot and then install the ones that you get from Vargas. Line it up into the cutout section right there, plug it in, and then the B58 coils come with these bolts that you just have to tighten up. Make sure you press down on the coil to make sure it's flush. And that's pretty much it. A very nice clean install. You can't really see all the wires because again they're wrapped in electrical tape and they sit right underneath the bracket. Very sturdy. This is why I always recommend to option this out when you're purchasing this conversion kit from our website. The hold down bracket, it's a must. You can get them in different colors. I did get this one in wrinkle black, but you can get billet black and red and blue and stuff like that. But there you go. And then everything else pretty much gets hidden with the beauty cover, which I have a very nice surprise that I'm going to show you guys. You guys got to see it. It looks pretty fucking ridiculous. So look at what we have here, guys. We got this twill carbon fiber that matches the Le Mans blue on the E90. And I told him to do something unique and different that nobody has, which is this forged carbon blend right at the bottom, and then transitions to that twill carbon. And I think it looks really good. It's gonna look very sick next to the orange intake manifold. A little bit messy. Try to line up the beauty cover along the fuel rail as good as possible. Bunch of spaghetti on the left hand side because I guess how he built them, he built this mainly for guys that have like the top mount kits. So I'm gonna have to tighten this up a little bit. I'll get the M3 cowl covers on, and there's actually one last piece that I received today that I haven't been rocking in the engine bay for a while, and those are the strut braces. I had to buy M3 ones because of these ASTs that protrude so much right here, and the M3 ones have like a slot in the middle that allow you to install it. So I haven't been rocking them. Just got some new ones, about to clean them up and install them right now. I am beyond happy with the results. I think the colored match intake manifold to the brake calipers looks absolutely amazing. The carbon fiber beauty cover from Nelson Carbon gives it a nice touch. Like nothing here looks over the top. It's just right, it catches the eye. You know, sadly we couldn't address the valve cover situation in this video, but we'll definitely do a dedicated video sometime in the future, and then we'll do the VTT catch can system. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys like the setup or what? It's nice and simple. One thing I'm definitely going to address are the M3 strut braces that we just installed. They're painted in black. I didn't think they would be that visible, and they really are, and it just doesn't look too good. This is an exception. This is just like a jewel. It looks good. It's polished. It's not like that unfinished silver. But yeah, engine bay is looking really good. Appreciate you guys watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Till next time.